Cheryl.
I'm Lavour Addison playing Kent.
Hi, I'm Abner Genece, and I'm playing Joseph LeVay.
Constance Swain playing Taylor.
Ryan George, and I'm playing Flip.
I first got the script from my first year acting teacher at Purchase, who said that you need to look into Cheryl. And this was years and years and years ago. I won't say how many years, but years and years and years ago. And I've been waiting. I just fell in love with the idea of being seen. And it just touched my heart so much that I've been wanting to play her for years now. And now I've got the chance, but that was it, just the idea of being seen.
Yeah.
You playing it well.
You playing
it well.
Kicking ass.
I'm gonna say. I first came in contact with the piece years ago in San Diego. I saw it at Mo'olelo Performing Arts Company in San Diego, California, and I fell in love with it. I thought it was incredible, just from the aspect of the type of story we were telling, the type of environment that was created. This was a type of story that I hadn't seen. So I was very excited. It was many years ago, so I was a little younger than I am now. But I remember then thinking, gosh, I would love to tackle this someday. And I even got to speak with the actor that played Joseph in that production. And he said, you'll play it one day.
There we go.
He spoke it over your life.
Yeah, he spoke it into truth. So we're here. Yeah, that's my contact with it.
Heck yeah.
Okay, when I first read it, I perused it, and I was like, okay, Kent he speaks a lot. Okay, I'm very excited now. And then, once I got the second and third read under my belt, and the themes of family, class, belonging, that's the stuff dreams are made of. So I was like very excited. And then now we got like a great team.
Okay. Yeah. I think undergrad was where I was introduced to it. I think, yes. And I had a Taylor monologue that I would use because it was like in one of those African American monologues, blah 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 books. And I was like, that one. Yes. And which was funny. And then I read the play, and I was like, oh man, this is a really good play. This is really cool. And especially having gone to the school I went to, undergrad Spelman, there's so much of what is discussed in here is like embedded into the history of HBCUs in particular, especially a place like Spelman and Morehouse. So it feels like home. I think that's why I was so excited for it, because it, like, having done a lot of Shakespeare and just classical work, which also has its place and I love it too, it was nice to feel like, oh, this feels like my grandmother speaking, or like, you know what I mean? I feel like I don't always get to hear that, like, our language on stage. So it feels like we're speaking our language, which is awesome.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, same. I was in contact with this play in college, in undergrad, and really enjoyed it then, but never had the opportunity to perform it in any space or time. And so once that came around, I was like, oh, this is fantastic, especially pairing with the rest of the other shows that we have here. I was like, oh, what a great way to showcase a family, specifically a Black family, and how they deal with introducing new people into the family. And telling that different type of side of story, which I think leads into the second question of like, how is this story different? In what ways is this story that isn't often told in movies and TV or theater? Is this
no one's a slave?
Yeah. No one's a slave. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah. I mean, I think it goes to that it's
awesome.
It's not about trauma, not about physical trauma happening to Black bodies in general. Mm-hmm. And so that is also one of the fantastic things about it, and definitely open up to you guys to discuss that as well too. Why this story is such a great turn from a lot of the great work that does exist. There are some great writers, especially Black writers and POCs who write about our struggles and stuff like that. But why this one stands out even more because it's not about physical pain or trauma to Black families or Black people in general.
Sure. Yeah. Not the physical trauma that we're used to seeing.
Yeah.
Because there are traumas in this. And something that I'm really excited about is having the chance to really be under the microscope in this family, in this outwardly well-to-do, well-positioned, successful family, and to really kind of look under the microscope to see what's really going on and the different things, not just one thing. I mean, there's a lot of different things going on in this family. And so getting a chance to explore that, I found was really exciting, something that I hadn't seen. And I think something that our audience is really going to be taken with.
One of the things I think is super cool about, and this is just more like logistics, is the set, because we really use the thrust in ways that the other two shows, they expand outward and we really go in, like, downstage. And what is really cool about this particular production is no matter where you sit, you're going to have a bomb ass seat, because you're going to get a story. There's always storytelling happening, especially like stuff that's going on with Cheryl in the kitchen.
Oh yeah.
Because when you told me about the banana pudding and how you like back there chefing,
I'm back over there dancing, sprinkling stuff. Like there's always a story. Oh yeah. Like,
I didn't even know she told me she was. I was like, you are? I had no idea.
Oh yeah.
That's exciting to be able to have a virtual 360 kind of experience.
Yeah.
Discover things no matter where you are.
And coming back and seeing the play again, you're going to get a totally different story if you sit somewhere else too, which is awesome.
Yeah, absolutely.
I like that a lot.
Yeah.
Because in that scene when you're sprinkling, I think the banana pudding tastes so good, and I'm just.
I have a lot of pride in my banana pudding. Like, I do, which is why.
Why she snubbed
well,
me.
you have a lot of pride in everything.
Yeah.
Oh
yeah.
Everything so well.
Mama taught me. Mama taught me how. But I just also love that this is in a beautiful home in Martha's Vineyard. We're not in that poverty porn struggle. You know what I mean? So it's just nice to see some affluence.
Yeah,
and
people going toe to toe intellectually. It's not about like throwing hands, though it does get to that. But it's cool that we watch these people, even Kimber, every single person. Jada talked about that a lot in rehearsal of like all these people are highly intelligent. Cheryl, every single person is highly intelligent and going toe to toe. And every time like something is tossed out, it gets picked up and then delivered again some way. And it's a really cool like oral experience as well for like listening to it, being in it, and I'm sure for audiences as well.
Yeah. Absolutely.
And a play where, Black men get to make their choices and then have to deal with the repercussions. Yeah. But in a way that's not often told,
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah. And please.
Something you touched upon it. Something I'm so fascinated by is Joseph, my character's, the patriarch, relationship with his sons, right? And what that represents, what the playwright, what Lydia is saying, or what she's helping to explore in all that. You have on the one side, you have Flip, who for my character, represents so much of the achievement. He's very successful, and these are the things you need as a Black man in this society to succeed. At least Joseph feels that way.
Tangible success. The fact that he's a surgeon, even with plastic surgery, but he's doing so that you could track success of it. Yeah. Absolutely. Yeah.
But then you have Kent on the other side, who for me represents much more of a sensitive approach, the creativeness and willing to explore, and all those things that I think Joseph represses and has had to hide because that is a way in his mind toward vulnerability, which he can't afford to show. Yeah. So he hides away those things. So to confront that with Kent is painful, and he wrestles with that, And in this story, it comes to a head, and he realizes and makes a discovery, about both sons in that way. And I just, in terms of the legacy and the tradition and Black men, as you were pointing to, it's fascinating.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, you go.
Because we sort of segued into one of those questions, but the thing about the sons, when I was in undergrad, I always wanted to do Death of a Salesman, and I love the relationship in that work, but for some reason I was always drawn to Hap, and I feel in this play it was just the perfect culmination of allowing me to be a Black man, to get that essence of what was in that story, and not have it be, we're just doing the Black version of Death of a Salesman.
Right.
So that's what I love about this. And I mean, the individual relationships are just so great and well written. But getting to be in this show that is an excellent play, and not have it seen as a little less than because it's just a version of this thing.
Of this thing.
Yeah.
Right.
Exactly.
Right. We all know the Wiz is better than the Wizard.
That is true.
That's also true. Speaking of the men in the play, let's switch to the women in the play. So one of the questions here, we have the women are all outsiders in this play. How is this outside status similar or different from each of you? So, we give the women the floor in this one, but especially their roles in this, them coming in here and, especially with Cheryl being an outsider, being the maid's daughter, but also, she's part of the family, as you also find out she is literally part of the family. But like their view of watching this family function and being brought into this family as fiance, and then Noelia, who plays Kimber, the girlfriend of Flip, coming into this space and how they're navigating being within the male dominance of the house, even though the mother's presence is also there. Vivian. Michelle Vivian LeVay.
We've named her Michelle Vivian.
Vivian LeVay.
Yes.
Well, at least for me, in terms of similarities, I come from a Black and Latina family, and I think we can all relate. Like, there's always some secrets, some drama that comes out, and I've every family deals with that, and I've dealt with my fair share within my family, and just the idea of bringing things to light is a very big thing for me personally. So I absolutely love that Cheryl does not let Dr. LeVay off the hook. And it's kind of cathartic to be able to play with that. No, I want everything out in the open. Matter of fact, I'ma just tell everybody what's going on.
Right.
I don't even care anymore. And just breaking out of those constraints is something that I just really gets me going. So I'm a big fan of that. But Cheryl's perspective is very interesting. That's what I would say.
I absolutely agree with you. Like, the word cathartic, I share that sentiment. Constance, don't have a relationship with my biological father. I met him one time when I was 15, and that was its own situation. And so this play in particular was actually quite hard, particularly that confronting when I come in, because it does hit home. And what I was finding actually as an actor was a block that I did not know I had, because I never had to access it. There was never a story. There was never a story that I would tell that was so specific, that was so like right on, the nail, that I was like, oh wow, this is right on it. So that Jada was really good about like giving us, I know we all three of us talked about it, like technical things that we could do, because sometimes like that's what actors have to do. It's not all, you cannot always emotionally deliver, nor should one expect to do that of oneself or of others, because it is a lot to carry these stories and tell these stories. And we are humans, so we have our days where we don't feel like it, just like everybody else here has their day as well. But knowing that this is our job, the skill comes in, or the craft comes in, when you can still deliver that because it's been shaped. And that you lean on the craft as opposed to me having to carry that, or any of us having to carry that story. So that it has been an awesome journey to confront that and to do it in a safe place as well. Because I think that's something that has been really awesome about this particular experience. I can speak for me, and I think it's true for everyone involved. That Jada was really adamant about it being a safe place, which you have to if you're telling stories like this, especially in this day and age. But something I've been watching is like lionesses and how they basically scope each other out. That's what it feels like. The women to start. It feels like there's a lot of primal instinct. There's a lot of like just check, a lot of things that go left that aren't even said, where we're just kind of sizing each other up. And the thing is, it's not written on the page necessarily, but it is if you know how to look for it. And that's the thing that's really cool about this play, is that the playwright has left us so many little clues. And if you have a savvy director, which we have, and savvy actors, which we have, you're going to find some cool shit. That's what we were able to do by going, but see this moment here? What is that about? And so I feel like that's just been how we've constructed this whole play, which is why it's so freaking awesome.
And I think it's interesting that the constant conflict that you have with Cheryl and Kimber, even Flip as a character, but also I think what's interesting is that it's not written into the play, but one of the major themes is patriarchy and masculinity and toxic masculinity, because what you see displayed, between how the women treat each other, because that's how society, especially this play set in 2005, even more so than we are now, how we're addressing these issues. Here we have this very affluent family, and it's just the men here acting a specific way, and one trying to change his ways, one who is fallen head deep into that, but also is uncomfortable with it at certain times, and so he lashes out with discomfort with his own feelings by hurting people, hurting Taylor, hurting Constance Taylor, hurting Kimber, Cheryl at times dismissing her, he stands with brothers every once in a while, but then he also just, he's over the confrontation between him and his brother and his dad has. Yeah. And just like how patriarchy and toxic masculinity also bleeds into this show, and that it really is addressing that, and the way that Kent addresses it to his dad at the end, or how his dad explains how all this stuff, he's like, show me a man who hasn't made mistakes and all that, and you're saying, but it doesn't make it right to do all these things, and all that. So I think it's, and how that affects the women around them, how women respond to that, and all. I think it's a fascinating, introspective look into how not being able to be honest and careful with each other can lead to harmful trauma that isn't physical but is emotional and mental. And
which isn't it so true that that's what a lot of everybody, right? But mental health was something that we absolutely neglected in the Black community, but I feel like it's become, through the pandemic and through the movement, and we can't ignore it. And I think that our, this generation, the new storytellers, and what we even do with these stories that have been around for a little while, is we're also infusing it with that mental health, investigating that, because mental health is something that is also a huge theme in this play.
Oh my gosh.
Absolutely. Every single person is going, it's like all the skeletons that everyone was trying to run away from. It was like, hey girl.
Yeah.
I've been waiting for you. I've been on the porch, and I'll be right here when you get back, and how true is that for each and every one of us as human beings too, and our audience members. So no matter what you look like, your socioeconomic background, everyone can find something in this story that they go, I know that.
I know that. I'm thinking particularly of that moment in terms of mental health.
Yeah.
That moment where I mistakenly call you Ellie. Like in mid-conversation, I call you Ellie, and it's like, what?
Cheryl.
What is that about?
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right.
Yeah. So absolutely.
Oh yeah.
Absolutely.
The play is also very funny.
How
do you find the balance in the production? Personally, I just looked at Lavour.
He's our resident comedian.
Oh my gosh.
I just try to go fast.
That's the key.
He's a master at the pratfall. He's master.
He did many times in rehearsal. He would do something too extreme for the joke, and Jada would be like, pull it. She'd just shake his head like a disappointed mother.
Just like
why don't do that?
We stopped asking if you were okay.
Yeah.
Lavour fell. Okay.
That's fine. Don't worry about it. He tripped over the couch.
I get one.
You get one.
But I love it. I love the willingness to risk, and that's what the rehearsal space is all about.
Yep. Oh yeah.
Right? Finding those moments and exploring and going out over the edge so that someone like Jada can pull us back in. Absolutely.
I know
So
at least
I love that about it.
I know at least for my journey, I need to lean into the funny, into those bits of funny, because that second act is so emotionally charged.
Yeah,
and it's really hard to make that huge leap just in a 15-minute intermission.
Yeah.
So to have those moments of funny, for me, have just grounded me in who she is. And keep me kind of on that path, so that I can just let all of that emotional turmoil and stuff just live on its own. And I need the funny. I know for one, I really need the funny when it comes to the funny.
In like fashion, I think I share that with you. In the first half, I find myself always leaning toward the lighter and trying to find the moments of lightness and funny and humor.
And play.
Yes,
play.
And play, joy, because it all changes. It all goes to shit.
So you have to set you up, make you feel like everything is totally fine, and then you hit you hard with
flip that script.
Yeah, flip the script on them, legitimately.
This has been a journey.
Yeah.
This has been a journey, and I'm not gonna lie. I mean, with the pandemic and all the different challenges we've had, and doing a rep of this complexity, this richness has been challenging. Having said that, I have so much pride in everyone here and in the entire company. I think that being able to we really lean on each other.
Yeah.
I think that we've really grown closer as artists, and we've had a chance to explore some very different rhythms, from the lyre to Animal Farm to this. What a treat! What an honor to do it. That's how I feel.
Yeah, that's the beauty of rep too. It's like you can come and see something. Because I'm only in the lyre and stick fly, but for Kristina and Noelia, they're the only two in the entire company. They're in all three shows. So being able to, for an audience member, a subscriber who's going to come out and see all three shows, you're going to get such a wide palette, especially from those two, because you're going to get to see them be funny and be quirky and all that stuff. Get to see them go, still be funny, but there's a heartfelt in that journey that happens in Stick Fly in particular, and then the heartbreak and all of the divisive, really just like artistic work that happens in Animal Farm. There's just, I think that's the beauty of rep, is because you're able to come and see all the many colors, all the many shades that each and every single one of these actors have, which we don't always get when we're just doing a standalone play, because how many times, you play your one character, your couple, and you're done, but everyone getting a chance to come back and see this guy be Flip and then be Durant is like, whoa, look at that range. That's crazy. It's awesome.
It's funny because this season has been a lot of like doubling characters for me, except for this one. And this has been, for me, I've been wanting to do this play for so many years, and I've been waiting for it and wanted Jada to do it for a while. And I just know that in the time of COVID, to do rep, and for this to be the third one, I felt like I was constantly on, like, okay, we're almost there. We're going to start Stick Fly soon. We're going to start Stick Fly. And then I know for me, I got COVID for the first rehearsal of Stick Fly. So I was out for all of that wonderful table work. And it's definitely been a challenge in the time of COVID. But I definitely think that doing all three, oddly enough, kind of mentally prepared me, like, you're just going to take on everything because you have no other choice. And to finally get to this point with Stick Fly, to be able to do it, and then have it be what it is with this wonderful, amazing company, and this great director and this great energy, it's like the best high you could ever get, I think, to do rep. You just don't get that same kind of thing with anything else. Even just doing one show and focusing on that, like having to mentally hop between shows, it's a really huge challenge, but it's a lot of fun. Yeah.
It's rich for us as actors, and it's rich for the audience. I mean, speaking to the people who come to see this show, it's an amazing experience to get to see that. And hats off to this organization for making the choice, for choosing to do this work.
It was a big choice.
Big choice, and sustain it and support it. This was a regional premiere of this play. That's amazing. It's amazing and shocking, But
here in this.
But here in this area.
In this area,
This
never
area.
done it in
So
Colorado.
we're getting to see something that hasn't been seen here. So this is great.
And big thank you to the Arvada Center and Lynn and the production crew and all of our directors, our stage managers, everybody, for moving with the punches, because we unfortunately had to delay Stick Fly, because of another little run through of COVID for a few of us, including myself. And so the fact we've been able to be very flexible, everybody's been so much care in making sure all the actors and the production team is safe. You can't thank you enough for that, because it does require a lot of energy and money to do that. And the fact that they want to stay committed to putting these plays up is very humbling. And so I'm so grateful that we're all able to be here and to play and experience these wonderful shows with these audiences. And so it's a beautiful experience that we're still here, still trucking along. and we're able to stay in each other's lives for these 6 months, continuing to play around. So yeah, it's been wonderful. Yeah.
We want to thank you once again for joining us on this journey and joining us in this discussion about Stick Fly, a piece that is very dear to all of us. We're happy that you're all here and hope that you will continue to come back to explore these stories.
Yay.